there you see more SEB deputies arriving. The first armored truck that arrived was paramedic unit, the Medcat with the paramedics. Those are the Bearcat with the paramedics aboard. They're called ESD deputies, Emergency Services Detail, and they are all trained paramedics. Those men and women are trained in life-saving, and they will be ready to move in as soon as it's deemed safe.
So they have now completely boxed this vehicle in. There is really nowhere for this vehicle to go.
Dennis, this is the strategy that you talked about before, where they brought in the SWAT team, armored vehicles, and they're just going to make sure that these officers are completely protected here. These officers are safe as they box this in. If that suspect is in fact alive or able to use that weapon again, these officers are not going to be home.
That's correct. And what we see happening, the two Bearcats, they have the initial Bearcat with the paramedics. So they have three Bearcats there with many personnel on board. They're looking in the vehicle now. They do have the drone, which is new technology for them. They do have the robot that the bomb squad traditionally uses. So what they have, they brought out all the equipment that they could possibly use to make sure it's safe and secure. And if the individual is conscious, the paramedics will treat him. They'll have the county fire department show up. But the fact is, right now, they want to make sure that it's safe to approach that vehicle. So with the Bearcats, you have on both sides of the vehicle and one behind, and you've got three of those deployed, all sheriff's vehicles. That gives them the opportunity to make sure that particular situation is static, that the individual is either unconscious or the individual is conscious and just lying in wait for someone to approach and then fires the weapon and tries to kill a deputy sheriff. So what we are looking at right now is the methodical path, slow and deliberate, to make sure that that approach is going to be appropriate. And once that approach is appropriate, we see them utilizing the equipment that they haven't used in the past. But this particular situation, they're calling out everything they can. This is obviously being viewed by many people around this area. It'll be national news. The fact is, extreme caution for the deputies. They want to go home at night, and that's what we expect them to do. So the equipment is going to be utilized, whether it's the drone or any other things that they're having. They're not just going to walk up on that vehicle, which they could have done. In the old days, that's what they would have done. But that's why this specialized equipment is so necessary. They've got a command post established, and as we see, the drone is going to be launched. The drone is going to be part of it, along with all the other equipment. Once they determine that that individual is unconscious, they will approach, remove him from the vehicle, render aid, and then this will be a code 4 situation. But until that time, this is a slow, methodical. Time is on their side. It's daylight. We have hours before darkness sets in, so we don't have to worry about that. They have the time on their side, and they will utilize the resources at their disposal to make sure it's safe and secure. Once they take him into custody, they'll decide what medical treatment is necessary, if any, and then we'll take it from there. But that'll bring us to a conclusion. All those units that are now deployed here will go back to their normal assignments.